Hi there. Today we're off to Antigua in Guatemala. We're driving up from the capital, Guatemala City, but you could easily do this directly from the airport. We're doing this in an Uber, not in one of these chicken buses, although they look like a lot of fun. It's about an hour in an Uber. These chicken buses, as they're called, are ex-US school buses, the yellow ones you always see on the movie, who of course went to school in, if you're American. But those kids didn't have a ride like this. The Uber ride is pretty cheap. I think about $30 to get from Guatemala City into the heart of Antigua. And it would be the same price pretty much from the airport, as the airport is right in the city centre of Guatemala City. And look, there's a chicken bus to be. So it's a very easy and reliable way to get up to Antigua, and we were dropped right in the central square. So a little bit about the history of the area. So the Mayans settled here at least 4,000 years ago, and even though Antigua is known as the colonial capital, it was a Mayan capital way before then, for many more years. But this area was settled around 1524, and Antigua itself was settled in 1543, and it was the capital of the area until it was destroyed by an earthquake in 1773. So for about 220 years. What really surprised me was that the extent of the Mayan culture here is very active, and even Spanish is in a lot of places isn't spoken, and the Mayan languages are much more predominant. That said, of course, Antigua is famous for being the Spanish colonial city. This central area in particular, around the Park Central and next to the Cathedral San Jose, is particularly colonial in nature. Of course, there's a lot of hawkers with their goods and everything, but this area is very colonial. The two main tourist areas are the Park Central, the Antigua, and the Iglesia de la Merced, and the avenue that runs between them. I don't think I mentioned it before, but these cobblestones are everywhere. When you drive, you can only go like 10, 15 miles an hour, 20 kilometres an hour. Otherwise, the car gets severely shaken up. And this Central Park really is still the centre of the city, and it's a working city. So, in addition to all the tourist places, which is a huge part of the economy, it's also the central point for people coming into town, etc. So the real central square of the city. Okay, so while we're around the Central Park area, let's go have a look at the Cathedral San Jose. So this was originally built in the 1540s and destroyed in the earthquake in the 18th century. So you can see, even for those days, it was a hugely impressive cathedral. The roof is gone, it's been looted and everything, but there's still a lot of the edifice remaining. There's some tumbled down pillars and everything here. You can tell that it must have been extremely impressive in the 16th century. I do wonder though, when the Mayans look at places like the cathedral and compare it to places like Chichen Itza, are they impressed? Because after all, Chichen Itza is still standing. So we spent about an hour in the peace and solitude, and then back out into the streets. mentioned before, the Mayan culture seems to predominate even in this old colonial city. It's not put on for tourists or anything. It's like this area is very, very Mayan. I have to admit, though, just saying it's Mayan is a bit of an oversimplification. There are many different Mayan groups and a lot of different Mayan languages. The economy here, though, is absolutely based on tourism, and there's many, many tourists as you walk around the streets. It's safe. There's a high police presence. There's no thought anywhere of any crime, certainly during the day. I wasn't here during the night, but there wasn't any hint of any sort of issue. It really is quite interesting walking along with tourists and Mayan people all through the square and around those big verandas and all the cobblestone streets. So it's all very pleasant. So now we're leaving the Park Central and walking up Fifth Avenue towards the Arch of Santa Catalina, or Arco de Santa Catalina, towards the Iglesia de la Merced, which is an old 18th century famous church you can see there in the distance. So this avenue is as popular as the central square, and vendors everywhere with trinkets and everything, and intermingled with traffic. People doing deals everywhere. Hawkers selling on the street and tourists buying them. I think everyone thinks they get a good deal here, which is great. I certainly gave that guy $1 or $2. His rendition of O Solomeo was excellent. I don't know if it was just me, but the vendors up this end of town seem a little more aggressive. So this is the Iglesia La Merced, or the Iglesia de la Merced. Anyway, it was built by the Mercedarians, who are also known as, wait for it, the Royal Celestial and Military Order of Our Lady of Mercy and the Redemption of the Captives. Their mission was to free slaves taken by the Moors. Unlike the Cathedral of San Jose, this is still an active church. There's the church part, and there's also, I think you call them the cloisters, where people used to live. There's no nuns or brothers living here anymore, but the main reason to come here is for the views from the roof. So let's get up there and have a look. So it's a great vantage point to overlook Antigua, and with all the iconography and still an active church, so just bear that in mind as you visit. So that concludes our day trip up to Antigua from Guatemala City. It's a very easy commute up, and a lovely old town to spend some time in. I just spent a few hours here. I could easily spend a few days. So thanks for watching, and please do subscribe.